We're now joined by the Kansas State Jayhawks. We have Coach Brandon Snyder, his student athletes Crystal Lyons, Anaya Thomas, and Kylie Kopatich. Coach, your thoughts about tonight's game?
Well, I was really happy with how well our players executed the game plan. I thought we did a much better job of exhibiting some patience on offense and working for the best shot and not just the first shot. And then they've got, a terrific team, but two terrific players in particular, in Miller and Gray, and we just really wanted to make them work for everything. Felt like if we could hold them under 40, we would have a chance. I think they got 41. So, proud of our team tonight.
Okay, we're going to take questions for our student athletes first, please. Your name and your affiliation, and we'll get a microphone to you. We'll start on the second row left.
Tucker Toole, Big 12. Crystal and Kylie, knowing that this could possibly be your last game in a Jayhawks uniform, what was your mentality coming into today's matchup?
That today wasn't going to be our last game. We didn't want to end it that way. It's really hard to beat a team 3 times, and we just knew we didn't play our best at home against them or at their place, and we knew we were so much better than that. I think we proved that tonight.
Yeah, what she said, and I think we woke up with a winner's mentality, and that just took over the whole day.
Nice.
Questions for our student athletes. We want to get them back to the locker room as quick as we can. Got a question on the second row left.
Okay, so the last 2 times you met up with them, things didn't go so well. So what did you do differently this game, personally, like each person individually?
I think we just followed Coach Brandon's game plan. He said he wanted us to move the ball more and that we would have open shots if we do so. And, yeah, we ended up with a win.
Oh, my bad. Just this game, we was more aggressive. We was ready to get it done and beat them.
Well, I just think, we have 6 seniors on our team now, and none of us wanted this to be our last day. We knew we prepared a lot better than we had the last 2 games, and I think we, like Crystal said, we followed the game plan a little more precise this time.
Another question on the the left side.
Tucker Toole, Big 12. And I know I just asked your teammates about being seniors and this possibly being their last game. How did it feel for this to be your first Big 12 tournament game?
Man, it was good. I got my first dub here, so and we did good. We played very good today. Very.
You played really well today.
Anything else for our student athletes? Okay, ladies, we're going to let you go back to the locker room. Congratulations on the win and get some rest, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll take questions for Coach. Got a question on the front right.
Joe Fazio, O'Cauley. Coach, can you expand a little bit about what your players talked? Last game in Stillwater, team loses by 20, but you got the victory here. What do you think was different?
Well, in Stillwater, we took 38 shots on the first side of the floor, and we took 5 shots on the third side of the floor. That's not a recipe for good offense. You're not making your defense work. You're not giving them any chance to perhaps make a mistake that you can take advantage of. And that's just really what we harped on for the last couple of days is, just making them guard a little bit deeper in the shot clock. And, we felt like we could get higher percentage shots and spread the ball around a little bit more.
Question on the second row inside.
Janae Adams, Big 12. So this is the Kansas first win since 2015-2016 season. So how does this feel like, getting this win in the championship tournament?
I'm just happy for our seniors. They've continued to really have great attitudes, come to practice every day. Despite the Big 12 record, with the mentality of getting better, and they've stayed very committed to being great teammates.
Tucker Toole, Big 12. Coach, I know you guys jumped out to that big lead in the first quarter, and OSU cut the deficit to 10 about 3:30 in the second quarter, and I know you called that timeout. What was the message to your team in that timeout?
Well, just obviously not to get discouraged. I think, basketball is a game of runs. We had a run early. You know that a good team like Oklahoma State, is going to come back with a run at you. We were in foul trouble. Austin Richardson, Kylie Kupatich, and Anaya Thomas all had 2 fouls, so we had to have some substitutions during that stretch. But, mainly just let's make sure we stay poised and composed and stick to the game plan.
And what's the game plan for Iowa State?
Well, Bridget Carlton obviously is one of the best players in the country. I'm not even going to just say our league. She's such a hard guard. There's a good chance she's going to get anywhere from 25 or 30. I think a real key with being able to be in the game and compete with Iowa State is you just can't let the other guys, have big nights. Thank you.
Okay, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow. Good luck. Thank you. We're now joined by the Oklahoma State Cowgirls, Coach Jim Littell and his 2 student athletes, Vivian Gray and Braxton Miller. Coach, your thoughts about tonight's game?
we put ourselves in a bad situation when we fell behind 13-2 and 30-10. It just it's too big a hole to dig out of, and they jumped on us early. We didn't do the things we needed to do, and it's just a big hole to grind out of, because in the second half, and really from the second quarter on, it makes it where every possession is just crucial when you fall that far behind. So, any questions?
Yeah, we'd like questions for our student athletes first, if you would, please, and then we'll go from there. We got a question on the second, on the right side.
Jordan Mitchell, Stiller News Press. Braxton have a kind of a bounce back game for you today. What's kind of been, you think, your problem recently, but didn't having a good game today to finish it all out?
I don't know. I don't really know what the problem, I guess, was. Just confidence and kind of trying to stay true to myself. I don't know if anything really switched. I just tried to keep my mind off things and play ball like I know I can.
Question on the front right.
Joe Fazio, Colley. Vivian, in your first Big 12 tournament game, you led all outright scores. How do you think you did personally?
I'm not happy with how I played on defense. I definitely could have been better. I think I let my teammates down in that matter. And my first quarter definitely wasn't where it needed to be, and I think that definitely led to the hole we dug for ourselves.
Another question on the second row.
For both of you, just what was kind of defensively, what were you seeing there in that first quarter, allow them to have that big lead, that 30-10 lead?
We just straight up weren't playing good enough defense. I think they were getting downhill. We didn't have our rotations on point like we needed to off of ball screens and things like that. It just kind of all went downhill and spiraled into something where we dug a hole in the first quarter like we've been saying. So just didn't do what we needed to do on defense for sure.
They just came out stronger than we did, came out ready to play. I think that's the bottom line.
Tucker Toole, Big 12. After you guys went down in the first quarter, what was it? How'd you guys push in that second quarter to kind of to change that deficit?
We just played how we know we can play. First quarter just wasn't. We did not do well, and we bounced back in the second, which I'm proud of how the team did. Cleton was a big part in that. She played really well tonight, played really hard, and I think she was a spark for us.
She came in was a huge energy that we kind of needed, but it was obviously really bad. So I think we just came out in the second quarter and worked really hard and tried to all kind of find each other and play off of each other like we know we can. We just came out very poorly.
Further question for our student athletes. Okay, we're going to let these ladies go back to the locker room, and we'll take questions for Coach. Watch your step, please. Question for Coach. Got a question on the front?
Coach, after Kansas put up the lead to 20 and you called that timeout, what were you talking to your teammates about?
It was just basically we were slow on all rotations. We use a term called ball line, where we lost our ball line and lost shooters, but just wasn't the energy and passion that it takes to play at this level, and that all is directly on me. That you gotta play hard every possession, and you can't take plays off, and we're not talented enough to do that, and I've allowed that to happen, so that comes on me.
We got two questions. Why don't you start at the right side?
Coach, just overall, not to start you mentioned, but what do you think about the fight coming back there, and then Vivian getting back to one twice? Well, Braxton first and Vivian in that second half.
I thought from probably the second quarter on, we were a lot better on the things that we did, which allowed us to, grind our way back in the game. But then there were times that we just had breakdowns, and they got easy baskets. You crawled back within one, within three, and then they'd shoot a layup on us at the other end. And like I said, when you fall that far behind, it makes every possession from basically the second quarter on a must-have situation, both offensively and defensively. And when we crawled back in, and we just didn't have the grind to get stops, and credit KU, they showed great patience. they made us defend. They were waiting for a crack, and then when they saw it, they took us to the hole on that. So they shot the ball well from the three. Kilpatrick, we held her in check the first couple games, and we didn't do that today. And Lions just killed us. She just had a big time game against us.
Question on the left.
Tucker to a Big 12 coach. How big of an impact did Miller and Gray have on your squad this season?
Well, they both had nice years, and that's reflective in Braxton being honorable mention All Conference, and Vivian being newcomer of the year, and unanimous choice All Conference. But we got to get more pieces to the puzzle. All year long, we looked up and we had two people in double figures, and that's not conducive to winning in this league. So we've got to develop some young players in the off season, and we got to add some pieces to the puzzle as far as recruiting goes. But both of those had really good years, and we expect big things out of them in the future. But we just got to get better. We got to get better with the kids that we have. We got to develop them, and then we've got to add some pieces to the puzzle.
Question down. Go ahead.
Sorry. Alana Bearfield, Big 12. If you could just elaborate basically on Vivian Gray, and what have you seen as a coach, coaching her throughout the season and seeing her grow fundamentally, or, even areas that she could work on? What have you, seen?
Well, first of all, she's a total joy to coach. She's the same way every day. It's not by accident that she had all those 20 and 30-point games. She works hard on her game. She is by far, unquestionably, our best practice player. She has a big heart. She cares about the game. And, even in games that she maybe didn't play well, she was given everything she had. So I can't question Viv at all on anything. I think she's got a huge heart. She came to play every day in practice. She came to play every single game, and that's reflective in her being newcomer of the year. To think that she averaged 15 in a Division II league last year, and then came in and averaged 20, close to 20 in the Big 12 is pretty amazing, and that's a tribute to how hard she works and how much she cares about the game.
Anything else for Coach? Coach, thank you very much.